Good morning, everyone. How are you all? I hope everyone is happy. God bless you and your family. In the previous section, we saw about the excretory system. What is meant by excretion? Excretion means the process of removal of waste from the body is called excretion. Next, the excretory organs. The excretory organs such as the kidney, lung, skin and liver. First one, kidney. The kidneys are the body's main excretory organ or a part of the renal system or urinary system. Next, lungs. The lungs are organs in the chest cavity that allow our body to take in oxygen from the air. They also help remove carbon dioxide from the body. Third one, skin. The body excretes salt and urea through the skin in the form of sweat. So sweat is formed in sweat gland which lie under the top layer of the skin. The urinary system. The urinary system or urinary tract consists of the kidney, ureter, urinary bladder and urethra. Next, common disorder of the urinary system. Disorder of the urinary system can affect the kidney, the ureters, urinary bladder, and the urethra. They may be caused by infection, injury to the urinary system, or inherited conditions. Other disease or condition, for example, diabetes and high blood pressure. Next one, urinary tract infection. The urinary tract infection usually affect the urinary bladder and may spread upward to the kidney. They are often caused by the types of bacteria called Escherichia coli that normally live in the alimentary canal. Last one, kidney stone. The term kidney stone refers to a solid particle deposited inside the urinary tract. So I welcome everyone back to my class. When you write down your neighborhood street, you might see wires running alongside the road. These wires, called power lines, are usually held up by wooden poles. They carry electricity from the main energy station to all different parts of your community. Your body has its one way of delivering electrical information called your nervous system. So today we are going to discuss about the nervous system. In fact, if you look at a picture of human nervous system, you might even think it look like a wire running from head to toe. What does your nervous system do? What does your nervous system do? Your nervous system is the way instruction get sent between your brain and your body. These message get carried over nerves which are made up of nerve cells. Nerve cells relay message to each other. This relay is a kind of like what happened when your friend whispers a secret in your ear and then you whisper the same secret in another friend's ear. But your nerve cells do not use words to share their secret. Instead, they use chemical and electrical signals. Parts of the nervous system. There are two main parts of your nervous system. They are called the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system, it's made up of your brain and spinal cord. What happens in your nervous system when you react to stimuli? Did you know that the brain is sometimes uninvolved with the reflexes? Find out the answer to question and more in this lesson on the human nervous system. The first one, central nervous system. Not everything we do is decided by our brains. There are some automatic reaction that don't involve your brain. I know that seems weird, but think about how your leg involuntarily kicks when the doctor taps your knee with a rubber mallet. Your spinal cord is responsible for this knee jerk reaction, not your brain. Your spinal cord it's made up of nerves, which are in turn made up of bundle of neurons. You can think of all of this neuron as a baseball player passing balls, which are chemical signals. Sometimes sensory neurons carry message to the brain. Other times, like when you accidentally touch a hot burner on the stove, they only get as far as the spinal cord before producing a natural reflex. Your spinal cord sends signal to your motor neuron without any input from your brain, so you can pull your hand back before you get burned. No time is wasted thinking about what to do. When every moment count, the nerves in your spinal cord take control. Don't get me wrong, your brain gets involved most of the time when you touch something. For example, when you feel a mosquito land on your arm, your sensory neuron send signal to interneurons in your brain. Then your brain send signals to your motor neuron to sweat the mosquito. Together, your brain and your spinal cord make up your central nervous system. At the core of your body, there are the central nervous system. And second one, peripheral nervous system, PNS. Your sensory neuron and your motor neuron make up your peripheral nervous system. Your central nervous system is like the coach and your peripheral nervous system is like the team. The coach calls the play, but the team is one of the front line of action, and sometimes player have to react on their own. Your peripheral nervous system it's made up of sensory neuron. For example, which take in information about what you see, hear, taste, touch, and smell, and motor neuron, which send information to your muscles and glands so you can react. The sensory neuron are the ones that tell your brain there is mosquito biting you, and then your brain tells your motor neuron to swat it with your hand. Now move on. Neurons. Neuron are the basic unit of the nervous system, including the brain and the spinal cord. Neurons are the nerve cells. They carry electrical messages around your body. Nerve cells don't look like other cells in your body. They have unusual part called dendrites and axon. Learn how neurons use dendrites and axon to send message, neuron. You have trillions of cells in your body. You would think that all of your cells would have to be very tiny to fit inside of you. Most of your cells are tiny, but there is one cell that stretches from your back to your big toe. This long cell is one of the neurons or nerve cell of your body. Neurons carry electrical message from one part of your body to another. These messages contain information about what's happening and help you respond in the right way. What do neuron look like? What do neuron look like? Neuron are shaped differently than other cell of your body. They have unusual part called dendrites and axon. Dendrites and axon act like a telephone line because there are what allow neuron to communicate message. Dendrites are smaller than axon. Each neuron can have many dendrites. They look like a root grow out of the cell body. Dendrites bring electrical messages into the nerve. A neuron might have only one axon. Axon. An axon look like a long stem growing off the cell body. Axon carry electrical messages away from the nerve cell body. If you remember that axon and away both start with the letter A, it will make it easier to remember the axon job. Axons are covered with a material called myelin. Myelin helps the electrical signal move quickly down the axon. Neurons whose axons do not have a myelin sheath are called unmyelinated neuron. Myelinated neuron conduct impulse faster than unmyelinated neuron. An axon carries impulse messages away from the cyton. Its branches make connection with the dendrites of other neuron, forming a continuous pathway. As an impulse can travel unintermittently from any part of the body to the brain and spinal cord. Impulse can also travel from the brain and the spinal cord to the rest of the body. So the junctions of the dendrites of one neuron and the one acts another is called a synapse. Now move on sensory neuron. If someone removed the top of your skull and poked your brain with their fingers, would you feel it knob yet if that same person pricked the tip of your fingers with a pin? It would hurt. Why is this? Your brain is entirely isolated, floating in fluid in your skull, and it relies on the connecting to special neuron called the sensory neuron throughout the body to understand what's occurring in the environment. A neuron is a specialized types of cells that transmit signal. A series of neurons can send a signal from your little toe all the way to your brain where the signal is processed. Sensory neurons make up your five primary senses, for example, smell, taste, sight, touch, and hearing. So, the neuron that carry impulse to the brain and spinal cord from the rest of the body are called sensory neurons. Motor neuron. A motor neuron is a cell of the central nervous system. Motor neuron transmit signal to muscle cells or gland to control their functional output. When the cells are damaged in some way, motor neuron diseases can arise. This is characterized by muscles wasting and loss of motor function. Motor neuron can use the information gathered by sensory neuron and translate into action in your muscles and gland. It is your motor neuron that would actually initiate the muscles in your arm to lift off of the hot stove, responds to the signal from the sensory neurons. Those that carry impulse from the brain and the spinal cord to various muscle and organ of the body are called motor neurons. Now move on nerves. Nerve or cable-like structure made up of bundle of axon. Nerve can be of three types: sensory nerve, motor nerve, and mixed nerve. Sensory nerve. A sensory nerve, also called an afferent nerve, is a nerve that carries sensory information toward the central nervous system, and all those nerves which can sense or recognize the stimuli are known as sensory nerve. Sensory nerve is a cable-like bundle of afferent nerve fibers coming from sensory receptor like nose, ear, eyes, mouth. In the peripheral nervous system, a motor nerve carries information from the central nervous system to the peripheral nervous system, and both types of nerve are called peripheral nerves. Motor nerve is a nerve located in the central nervous system, usually the spinal cord, that send motor signal from the central nervous system to the muscles of the body. This is different from the motor neuron, which include a cell body and branching of dendrites, while the nerve is made up of bundle of axon. Motor nerves act as efferent nerve which carry information out from the central nervous system as opposed to afferent nerve which sends signal from sensory receptor in the periphery to the central nervous system. There are also nerves that serve as both sensory and motor nerve called mixed nerve. Today I give 10 hard words. First one: axon, tendron, impulse, myelin, snaps, sensory, motor, cyton, peripheral, soma. Once again: axon, tendron, impulses, myelin, snap, sensory, motor, cyton, peripheral, and soma. Today biology assignment: learn answer the following. Thank you.